Viper. Let's see. Morning, Marcus and Daniel. Good morning. Okay, that's a split. All right. Alto WW. Oh, Alto is nice and smooth. Ooh. Almost a 6% ADR. I like that. Okay, it's on our hot list. That's good. It's not the right, formation yet or anything here, and it's not necessarily even hot right now, but I like it's very smooth action, and it's almost 6% ADR, and it's still okay. It's actually looking pretty good, so we should keep a good eye on Alto, you guys. Don't forget about that one, Alto. Like in the next month or 2 or 3 or 4, some point, it's going to maybe possibly put in a strong sign. Get our list up here and see what's maybe up in pre-market. Hot list. Or it doesn't go by pre-market. Oh, EXT. Yeah, here we go. Okay. TTO. Yeah. EH. 5.5% ADR. Okay. China stock. It's just like, why would you get in at the bottom of a base on a hot stock 2 months into a base at the bottom on an entry signal at the bottom of a base, if you don't think the next several months are going to be another run, right? And why would there be another run on this right now when nothing is favorable for that? So, that's the only issue. But yeah, that one looks all right. BBIO, just straight fade right back through what should have been support, and then this morning it's popped up higher to that level that should have been support. Bridge Biopharma. I mean, it's just biotechs, low quality stuff on the market. TTI. They do chemical specialty. Yeah, not seeing any beautiful patterns here. This one's good. I mean, look at that. VIST. I mean, that's just straight up and up and up and up. I think I might have even alerted that point. Let me see. VIST. September 27th. Alert. September 27th. VIST. Let's see. I was on this big day here, and it did continue, and then it pulled all the way back down. Yada have gotten out of it, and then so, all right, it's a bit choppy right now. Doe, Diamond, TSAT, no. YPF, nope. Verk, that looks perfect. See, that's, when we're going through these things, that's something we might be looking for. That looks good. When you have these like 3 days pullback, that's where you want to be stocking for an entry. So let me show you guys something. Verk. Okay, so before this, the stock was just meh, right? And then it went on this couple day run. Okay. So look at the volume change. Number one. I would do the annotation, but I fucking hate the annotation now in Zoom. It's not like as fun as it used to be. But look, if I can quickly, it's slower. It makes me start dragging the goddamn line around. What a bitch. Why did they have to change that? Dude, see, I'm not going to waste my time with it. Okay, down there you got volume. I used to be much more easy to instruct. Now you can't. Big volume. Okay, change. That's good. You would note that when you investigated this stock after having found it. So, in other words, you would not have found it because of the big volume. You would note that it's a big change in character as far as volume goes after having started to investigate it and look at it because you found it another way. All right. So step one, though, when we're looking at it here, note great volume change there. Okay. Next thing is the price here has gone up 45% in 6 bars. So remember our scan, 20% in 1 month. Anything that goes up 20% in 1 month or more, you need to be looking at it. Or what did I say? 30% in 2 months. Right? That's being very forgiving. Like that, that should catch you a good 150 or even more stocks, and you got to be flipping through them. What you're really looking for is insanely incredible ones, but that's going to take 10,000 stocks and get you in the ballpark of what you need to be looking at. Then, look, when these things have that first run like that, and you can see that, and then starting to pull back, by God, it's time to be watching for an entry, right? So they pulled back for a couple of days. That's usually all you get on that first pullback on some super hot move like that. It's 1, 2, 3 days. Now, I'm not talking about like a penny stock type move. I'm not talking about like these super volatile ones with big gaps and everyone's day trading it and piling in. No, more like you're looking for this for a swing trade. You're looking for this for these kind of like semi-smooth, contiguous, connected candle movements. Okay. All right. But you can find that easily through a scan, be sifting through it, and you're like, here's one that seems to be interesting, and it's pulling back. The next time it goes green over red, or if I get a reclaim signal, green over red, I'm going to get in. So then you fast forward 1 day, boom. That morning, if you had a alert on or even had a stop market entry order, you could have got in at 588, 589. So then that same day it went to 650. Next day hit 749. You'd be taking some profits throughout that, I'm sure. And it's appreciating back up to that 749 level. And then it hit 824. And then there's somebody took their profits. And now we are where we are now. But the point being is you look for those and you can get that. Remember we said you got to be 50% out within the first 5 days. And sure enough, after that pop, 1, 2, 3. Well, if you don't even count that first day, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's over. So, you're really pushing your luck. If something keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and you haven't taken out 50% by the 5th day, the real idea is to take 50% out on any day, including the first day where price went insane. It's just like unprecedented move, right? And what is an unprecedented move? More than typical. You're going to have to make a judgment on that, whether or not, you think you're going to be able to make a much better decision about that than a system will. So you can look at the news, you can look at the market, you can look at the sector, you can look at chatter, figure out if tomorrow's going to be even more, your confidence level on that, and whether or not you should take 50% out today or not. There's just absolutely no guarantee or way to be sure whenever you take your 50% out that you nailed whatever it was. But that's why you take 50% out, because you keep 50% on. So you take half out because that could be the best it is. And that'd be fine. You made money. And you leave 50% on because it could get better, and you let that trail a moving average, or you have multiple methods, such as until it breaks the low of a prior candle. That would have been perfect here because this day starts selling off strong. It was actually a very strong sell-off that probably would have showed up earlier in the morning. So you might have got out a little bit more even up here at 774. So anyway, but my big point here is that these 3 days of pullback, look, that we saw here, that's what you're looking for, waiting for an entry on fresh stocks that are up more than 20% in 1 month, remember? And this is just a perfect example of that. And that's a swing trade. That's money. That's just, I mean, it's not necessarily Tesla going on a 1.5 year, thousands of percent run that you'd love to figure out how you can hold on for the whole thing with. It's not that, but it's your base, bread and butter swing trade right there. You can just rinse and repeat, but you got to know what's hot. And not just the other method that we use to know what's hot is if it's something having an unusual RVol, relative volume day, and that comes up on our list. That'd be the first day. Like you'd be looking at something like this. Let's rewind. Boom. You'd just be looking at like this one day like this. And we look at that frequently. We're like sitting on a candlestick like that. You don't know if it's going to go up the next. I mean, it closed bearish, as a matter of fact, somewhat bearish. Next day, it did not go up. It sort of like played inside of the wick. And then it started to make some appreciation. And, in a couple of days, it starts to hit your list. It's over 20%. Here to here, 20%. It's actually over 20% on that first day. But then once it started to continue, then okay, this thing's something. So, go through your 20% in 1 month lists and then find something that has a couple of red candles of pullback. That's, it's ready. Between 1 and 4 days of pullback on these super hot runs before it goes on its second attempt. This, not interested now on it, but this was a great example to show you that. All right, we got 9 minutes until the market opens, and a couple of you here. And did I go live? Yeah. So let's talk about the market for a second. So surprisingly, the market's only down like 0.6%. Wow, that's exactly what it is, 0.6%. I did that math in my head from NASDAQ, 15,100 down to 15,000. I'm thinking that's 100 points on 15,000 must be like 0.6%. It's exactly minus 0.6%. Okay. Just going to pat myself on the back there. So that is obviously surprisingly small of a pullback considering, the Iran, Israel, Hamas, Palestinian, world stage right now, conflict and I guess what's been declared war in Israel. By the way, if anybody is wondering, I totally support Israel. I don't think anybody was wondering, but no, I didn't hear, but like maybe in some of the people watching or whatever. I support Israel. So if you want to know what side of the fence I'm on that, that's the side of, I think 99% of the people are on that side of the fence. But anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I just would let you know, so you know if it makes a difference for you. And you don't want to follow somebody who isn't a terrorist. So if you want to follow somebody who's a terrorist, you followed the wrong person. Oh, Jesus. So anywho, the market is surprisingly resilient. It's surprisingly resilient, and it's actually moving up right now strongly. And it's just, I guess the market feels that businesses and the Fed and home buying and U.S. credit and debt and economic elasticity and resilience is not really it's in its own ecosystem dome, not I'm guessing, this, but, this is 25 plus years of experience. I just, my guess is as good as anybody's with 25 years of experience. Somebody else knows more than me. But I'm guessing that's why we're seeing the market kind of shrug this off and being reclaiming here in pre-market. But the thing is, when the market opens in 5 minutes here, we will start to get a feel based on the different sectors and how they're reacting. We'll start to get a feel for what's really going on here, because volatility is increased. So when volatility is increased, oscillation wave height, like amplitude, oscillation width increases. And so that can mean it could deceptively look on the positive side of the oscillation like the market is breaking out on a positive move, when really it's just that this thing got so wide that it popped a high, and then it goes much lower, and then when it gets back up oscillation wise, it doesn't go above that previous high that it made, and then it starts making lower lows and lower highs, and then now we're actually going down, but we went up to start with. So that's one of the dangers when volatility is increased like this, but it hasn't really increased a lot. So, and we've already went down this morning. So, and we are making a new pre-market pivot high on the market right now. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what happens when the full force of the open market starts to play out. I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of move to defensiveness. I'm not seeing that in gold. So that's odd, because anybody, even over the weekend, has plenty of opportunity to position into gold. But perhaps they got to sell off their growth stocks first. So, right. So maybe we'll see a start of a pullout into from risk, and a move into staples and defensives. Staples and defensives would be like XLP. It would be staples. Staples being like, Campbell's soup and toilet paper and stuff that never goes down. Obviously, it makes sense that would be utilities as well, like electricity and telephones, water, stuff that people can't live without, never stops, right? They just, stop buying Apple computers and $4,000 headsets. So utilities, and then also healthcare. People got to continue to work on their health and get their healthcare needs met during those times. So healthcare and utilities and consumer staples are considered defensives. And then we also have inflationaries, but I'm not sure, but I don't think I see any inflation going on. And inflationaries would be like industrials, base materials, sometimes financials correlate to inflationaries, and energy and oil and commodity prices. And inflation can affect the supply chain, importing, exporting, depending on if you're a global business or a domestic business. So it can get pretty complicated to figure out, what companies are being hit with that. They've got analysts that figure that out and got that wrapped around their finger. But and then there's value stocks. Value stocks are like staples, but they might be something that's not a staple, but they're just doing fine, and they're at a great value point, so there's not much lower they'll go. They're already at, below, or slightly above their breakup valuation, which would make them excellent buys. They might be a year or two before they start moving, but that's another place that we might see potentially some money going into this week if there's rotation as expected. So what do you think? I mean, it's a little complicated. It's a texture, and we're gonna have to feel it out. We got 1 minute, 45 seconds until the market opens. So we're about to figure this shit out. I am looking at PRZO if you wanted to day trade something. PRZO is about the best it gets. It's about 6 million float. Average volume is 35,000. So it's going to get pretty dry pretty fast. Trying to think of an analogy to that. So, the difference between day trading Google or something on a hot day versus day trading something like that that's typically dry. I don't know, but here we go. 230 is the pre-market high on PRZO. That would be the trigger point entry on that if you were interested in day trading PRZO if it broke 230. You also have the 1 minute right here, the 60-second opening range that it's going to put in. If it were to break its own high in the first 60 seconds, high that it puts in, that could potentially be an entry on PRZO and a sign of momentum. That can sometimes be 20 minutes later before it does that. It could bleed out and sag. QQQ right off the open is pretty much small doji. How about S&P 500? Similar. Industrials doing a little bit better. Okay, now the Qs are a little bit bleeding out. I've got all these holdings from Friday, some of which I'm going to need to cut here. Let's see. I wanted to see how they would play out at the open. So CAMT is one of them. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Everybody's dumping. They're like, nope, not today. I said, nope, not today. Not today. That's one of my favorite videos. And okay, Facebook, we're giving a little bit back on Facebook, Meta, but is it going up? Yeah, it is going up. See, so that's what I want to see. I see how these stocks are reacting at the open, because it's already down. What are you going to do about it? It's already down. You wake up, the thing's down. What are you going to do? From there, you want to see what direction it takes from there. On to, that's another one, ONTO. It's holding. VRT. Holding. VRT onto VRT. SMR. Remember that one, Randy? All right, it's looking a little weak. It's moving around. It's looking a little weak. It's putting some weak action out. Probably will be cutting it if it doesn't anything bad. Palantir, just not its time, but Palantir, as everybody knows, it's ripe. Oh, look at it. It's popping anyway. Palantir's like I think it's like really set up right now. But, sometimes just the market says no. BNOX, okay. VIRC, VIRC, and AHG. All right, so VRT, I'm going to get out of. VRT. It's not showing the right signs. Palantir is doing all right. AHG is fine. SMR is fine. Onto's fine. VRT, yeah, it faded down. CAMT, it might be halted. I don't know why, but it hasn't moved much. Not very much volume moving on there, but I did get out of that one. PRZO, wild and breaking lower pivots, not looking good for any trade there for day trade or whatnot. Meta, moving down for the first time, and is it going under its low? No, but that would be bad if it started to break lows. SMR, yeah, it's still acting weak. So those are our holdings, and then you got PRZO there. Now, if I go over here to projected end of day volume on our hot list, we got a bunch of stocks I already looked at that I'm not too interested in. The closest interested one is CRK, and it has average volume that's way below what we're interested in. So quality very low right now on the market, nothing interesting. And PRZO, which had our attention for a little bit, didn't do anything. But Palantir making some move. Palantir. Why is this a 5-minute chart? What? 5? Why are these all 5s? Some of these are 5-minute charts. I didn't realize that. What on earth? Okay, let's flip these back to 1 minute. I don't know how that got switched up. Must have been the cat. Meta and Palantir doing great. Those are two positions we have. We use FBL for Meta, FBL, which is like Facebook long, and it means it has a 15% more leveraged return, or gains and losses are 50% multiplied. Okay, got these all set to 1. Yeah, Palantir is just zooming. I'd like to take a look at what that looks like on the daily. Yeah, it's an excellent point. We could potentially add here on Palantir if it really is doing this. Just let me see what my position size on that is already. Where is it? Okay, over 500 shares. Like, I would just add a little bit. What is my cost average? It's right where it is. We got it in at the end of the day yesterday. Not too keen to add. I might just let it fly. If it's going to fly, I just let it fly. And then once it evens out in a week or two, grab a signal over there. Probably after having taken some profits. AHG, BNOX, SMR. Yeah, Onto's failing out. I'm going to dump Onto. And the market looks like what I said. It's bleeding out on growth, especially. Not so much on SPY, because SPY is comprised more of value stocks. There's a lot of value and industrials in there in the SP 500. But growth is dropping, being pulled out of. It's not going into gold yet. We're not seeing any change on gold. But yeah, Apple's down, looking red. Growth is red. I don't know why, but Meta is doing fine. It's being quite resilient. And so is Palantir. I guess it's an AI thing. AI is distinguishing itself from the group. And then let's look at staples. Yeah, staples are holding and slightly, they're holding. Financials are going up. Not really getting accurate price information on yields. Take a look at that. Oh, if you're not in Palantir, I mean, you can get in, around here and put your stop at the bottom of 2 days ago, Friday. Okay, rates are actually dropping. So that's great. So this is where we get some decorrelation. Because normally you get that inverse correlation between rates and growth. So rates go down, the growth stocks go up. If rates go up, growth stocks go down. Well, today the market's going down, growth is going down, and so are rates. And that's because the market's not going down because of rates. They're going down, I guess, because of the political stage right now. It's just too risky. It's just a matter of risk. It's not like something's actually affected their valuation. It's just the risk cloud has gotten a little darker over its head. And it's just a matter of, you've got to put, the reason why it's going down is because people are just pulling money out of that risk cloud to put it somewhere else where there's not that risk cloud. It's just simple as that. It's just, taking your dick out of the wind and just being careful so you can live to fuck another day. CAMT, yep. See, I made a good decision there. Down another candlestick. It's down a whole candlestick. A whole candlestick? Yeah. No, I was looking at the 5 minutes anyway. It's totally bleeding out. CAMT. If you were in that, yeah, I think got your strategy, played how you play it. But I got out before. Actually, yeah, the stop was set to the low of Friday, and it opened slightly below that, and it just didn't take direction the right way. So that's why we cut it, because it doesn't matter if it's open below your stop. If you wake up and the price of something is below your stop, don't get out. Like unless it goes down further, right? Just wait and see. Sometimes, many times, it fills the gap, or people find that to be a great price, and it just goes up from there, and it never looks back. So, same thing with options. Always, we have like a 5 minute rule with options. Just let the damn thing trade out for the first 5 minutes of the market, and then make a decision, opening range decision from there, because there's just nothing you can do. So, why limit your options at that point? It makes no difference for you to wait 5 more minutes, so long as the price is not, going down on you. But I mean, in 5 minutes, it certainly could. So if it's just bleeding and bleeding, obviously you're in something. There's an exception to every rule, but in general, that's a good idea. It's just a good idea to at least have that kind of a rule, something like that, trick tool in your back pocket, in your tool bag of trading, to know to don't just go, oh shit, oh well, cut. It's like, wait for the market open, because often things fill their gaps. I'm like, we're seeing like on here on Palantir and Meta, they certainly are. CAMT's not. So another thing is, this week we got some Fed information coming Wednesday at 2 p.m. So everyone's like, oh, no, shit, no, okay. Yeah, that's going to be definitely part of it. Wednesday at 2 p.m. And believe it or not, until then, it's kind of nothing. Like today and tomorrow, no real interesting economic reports. Wednesday, the day that the Fed releases information at 2 p.m., you've got that. But that morning, you have some PPI numbers. And I didn't really look beyond that, because that's pretty big. But I think Thursday and Friday there's something. Let me take a quick look to orientate you. Yeah, on Thursday they release inflation rate information. I swear, I don't understand the reasoning there, where the Fed releases some of their decisions and information on Wednesday, and then Thursday we get to hear inflation information. I mean, talk about just two trains cataclysmically trying to coordinate. Like, fuck, like who, like that just, I think you should release the inflation numbers first, and then we hear from the Fed what their decision is. Unless the Fed is giving inflation information in their report, but then you've got one up kind of insider information on the inflation information the next day. So I highly doubt that. So I think that's out of order. Out of order. Out of order. So Thursday is going to be inflation numbers, CPI. And then Friday, import-export prices and consumer sentiment. So it is kind of a big week of economic data. So you got Fed and PPI on Wednesday. We got nothing today and tomorrow. Nothing really worthwhile. Nothing. Then we got Fed and PPI on Wednesday. Then we got CPI on Thursday before the market opens. And then Friday, consumer sentiment and import-export. So obviously Wednesday and Thursday, the most cataclysmic days this week. Catalyst type of days this week. Let's see. Meta still flying. Palantir still flying. AHG, SMR, it's weak, but we definitely got to monitor that and slightly potentially cut SMR if it's not going to hold on. I already cut onto VRT. I think we're way out of that. Yep. PRZO is just volatile as hell. Am I still in mod? I think I am, or I didn't get in it. I wanted to. I think I didn't have enough money left. Are you in it? You want me to check on it? Okay. It's fine. It's got way below average projected end of day volume, and it's kind of like semi-doji from the open. So, what can you do? The whole market, the whole tide lowered, right? But from here, it's pretty nothing. Oh, there we go. In fact, it turned green just now. So you're down probably, but nothing's really happening that should make you do anything. So I guess that means hold. Hold while it's down. The only thing you worry about is if the next day it's down more. But, the tide lowered, so you have to kind of relatively think of this as being at the top. This little doji being at the top of the range, but it got lowered, right? So if the next day, tomorrow, it goes down a little bit, that'd be the same as it being at the top today and then down a little bit, and you'd only be down a little bit. So then you get into that whole mystique of, damn, I should sell because I'm down so much. When really that's not what's going on. Like, again, the money can't really tell you whether or not to stay in or not. The amount of money you're up or down doesn't know. It's like that information doesn't connect, believe it or not. So, you have to make a smart decision maybe tomorrow. If it, for instance, if it doji's lower and the volume is even lower than today, I mean, it's like kind of saying to keep holding because there's really not enough selling going on. All right. AHG doing okay. Palantir doing okay. Meta doing okay. I'm getting some return from somewhere. What is that? Not sure what that is. Something's moving well for me somewhere. Oh, Verk, is that it? Maybe it's not on these screens, is it? Verk, it's probably this one, Verk. Let's see. Yeah, Verk is doing good. Yeah, we got some things doing well. Palantir is up 3.6%. AHG is up 22%. My position on that is ridiculously small, and I think that's because it's just a really highly volatile ADR. I don't know why it's so small. Let's go take a look. AHG on the daily. Yeah, are you in that as well? Okay. I think I probably did like low of the day, like way down here, $1.17, and then got in at $1.50, and so that's like 1/3 of the down to zero risk, and so not going to make much money on it, even though I'm up 22%. But that's the way it goes. So interestingly enough, base materials going down. So that's deflation, deflationary move. But financials moving up. So hard to say whether that's correlating to deflation. Industrials moving up, and the S&P 500 moving up. And I'm guessing that's because value stocks are moving up. Yeah. If I looked at just value separated out, yeah, they're doing okay. But is it tech? Yeah, tech's moving down, communications moving up. And probably because Meta is a big chunk of the communications sector. I don't know why they don't consider that tech. But anyway, on the QQQ, it is part of the QQQ, which is generally tech. Growth stocks. But yeah, I'm not seeing any push into gold. And gold is usually like, the apocalypse currency. And nobody's buying. It could be because the prospects are still good with businesses, and especially AI. I mean, we're seeing Palantir and Meta move. I think AI is perhaps maybe, I don't have it up as a sector, but it's probably maybe one of the hottest sectors right now. Let's see if I can find some kind of a just artificial intelligence your index. Here we go. Artificial intelligence index, NQ Intel. Well, no, I mean, that's not looking good. So, well, we're good stock pickers. We picked the good ones, Palantir and Meta. And they are doing well. I think Palantir is moving even more right now. Yeah. We're up almost 5%, 4.6% on Palantir, and Meta's moving up as well. And we have that through FBL, like I was saying before, Facebook Long. They haven't changed the ETF name on that. I think, not sure, but there might be May2, but I don't think so. Okay, guys, so we're doing all right. And it's Monday, so don't get too hyped, you know. And Wednesday we got Fed coming, so tomorrow's probably going to be pretty weak. But way to go. Stay strong. Hold the line. I'll see you back in the group. All right, have a good morning, everybody. Peace.